nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega Left, we're getting cargo secure. As soon as we're able to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject. Roger that, Control. We'll keep them off you.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega Left, we're getting cargo secure. As soon as we're able to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're...
To the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And when anybody's running short, we're just going to stay towards the top of the caldera if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff. Griffin.
Sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill out, man, it's fine, it's just a 5-starter.
Komm, Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly, that's fine, guys, 15 seconds, we don't kills, guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow. Okay, good. Control, you see me get it.
There, to your left, is there. Sorry, shit. So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pockets,
Medium speed, prepare to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on empty barrels. Wire our strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Hit the Griffin.
Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie. Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Ausschaltung Delta 4-3 Stück, 2 Mediums einleiten, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left, Charlie, Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out. Check yourselves, make sure you've got, UAV cool shot. Here they come, they're pushing hard, guys.
Decro. Tez on.
Go.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
Well, you cross it then. Get in their face. They got a highlighter. They just pushed up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta. Yep, that's the noise. Go, go, go. Let's finish this. Full pressure, guys. Full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the f***ing arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Cough. I got him.
Okay, go, B3, go.
Echo, go. Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow. God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill. I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family.
Dropship. Orders? This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down the lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party camera is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secure. As soon as we're able to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates it's good eject. Roger that, Control. We'll keep walking.
This is McQuarrie. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead. Ejecting.
Roger, Control.
Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down the lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party camera is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secure. As soon as we're able to lift, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got him on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... of the second dropship. Orders?
This is forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down the lift. Starting salvage operation. This is forward 1. You're running out of time. Target gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secured. As soon as we're able to live, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got him on radar, Skull. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're...
Okay guys, that's our last match of the season. Let's make this one count.
Wenn sie zu mir kommen, mich überraschen, ziehe ich sie zu euch und fertig.
Alles klar.
Alright, so medium's Gamma, light's Theta, heavy's Kappa.
Roger.
Alright, here we go. Driver Lance, data is yours. W key.
Roger.
Alright, can't see anything. Stacking up in Theta.
I keep getting seismic.
Can you see them?
Yeah, they got heavies up here as well.
Kill anything that moves.
Lights, just give us some scouting. That's probably the best thing for you guys.
Roger, moving to E4.
Here they come.
What do you see? What do you see?
100 and Delta 4 on. Alright guys, comms, got it.
Yep, prepare to fight, call target.
Pushing in, guys.
Here we go.
That big next to the boost up. That big next to the boost up. Copy that, okay.
Wait for them to come to us.
Roll into them.
I'm rolling.
Rolling.
Max D3 coming from our right, guys.
Yeah, we got this.
I want to call something and I want to see it dead in seconds. Make it happen.
Okay, auf 3. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Guys, we need to get on top of here quick.
Scheiß Tom Cook, qui casse les couilles dans le dos là.
Keep going, let's go. Go. Everybody in.
Got him.
Nice.
Hawk crouch down.
So make it move, guys. Go now.
Bravo's leg.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Yep, get out of there right now.
Take care of that Black Knight. Take it exist.
So kill him out. Push forward, guys. Push forward.
Nice fucking job.
Just run. Stay alive and run.
Nice job, everyone. Well fucking played. That is how it is done.
Fuck yeah, man. Well done.
I can forgive you for shooting me in the back.
Alright, keep your eyes active, guys. Don't have scouts on this one, so we're gonna have to all scout.
I'll be there soon too. We've got mechs on the way. You guys got this.
Seems like a fucking ambulance 911 call.
We are headed into drop 2. 2 lights, 4 mediums, 2 heavies, 0 assaults on skirmish. Let's take a look.
We need to spread out a bit. We need to see where from they're coming, and then we will...
Alright boys, manly men. We're gonna take some fire, we're gonna put fire out.
Just make sure you trade well.
Yeah.
So, stopp, ändert Bewegungsrichtung, Drehen.
Schon zu weit. Yeah, we need to go it now. Yes.
Keep it up, hold your ground. They have a lot of guys beat up CGs.
We're peeking at us, Rocket 4.
Yep, you got one right here. We're doing alright, guys. We're up by 2. Stay cagey. 3 remaining. We got this one.
Alright guys, let's do this.
Oh my fucking lord.
Foxtrot is grid CT.
Alright, Light's going behind him,
Hey Charlie, come on guys, finish him.
Side torso.
Prepare for ramming speed.
Stormcrow, Charlie.
Tir d'opportunité sur le couverture par l'ultra là.
Oh, and he got the kill.
And with a second shot, takes down Double with the double.
D'ailleurs, derrière, bravo.
Dans les jambes toujours.
Like, go back.
Don't panic, just do it.
Yes!
Yes!
It was a great match, back and forth, all sorts of stuff going on, incredible shots, things we've never seen before, and things you don't get to see.
Good job, Dara.
Yeah.
meters altitude. Telemetry indicates this would eject. Roger that, Control. We'll keep locking.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting. Roger, Control. Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secure. As soon as we're ready to live, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got them on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates this would eject. Roger that, Control. We'll keep locking.
This is the query. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting. Roger, Control. Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo secure. As soon as we're ready to live, we need to get on board as quickly as possible. We're now tracking multiple targets inbound.
We've got them on radar, Control. Moving to intercept.
Oh no! We're... meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.
Roger that, Control. We'll keep them off you. This is McQuarrie. We're on him. Lead the way, sir. It's a pleasure to fight with you at last.
Omega lead, ejecting. Roger, Control. Omega, this is Control. We should lift off of the second dropship. Orders?
This is Forward 3. The gantries are retracting at Gamma launch site. They're at full power and counting down to lift. Salvage operation. This is Forward 1. You're running out of time. Party Gamma is nearly powered up.
Take out the APU gantries as soon as possible. If the dropship gets powered up, it'll bring its main guns online. Omega left. We're getting cargo.
Greetings, Mech Warriors, and welcome to this MRBC Season 9 Week 5 matchup between Division A rivals Dropship 5 and Osiriz. I am Bandit B17, and with me, as always, is Mr. MDM0.
Hey guys, how's it going tonight?
This is going to be a pretty exciting match. These two teams have gone head-to-head in various ways before, and it's been extremely exciting to watch. This will be the first time, of course, that they will have met in MRBC Season 9. It is, of course, double round robin, so they will have a chance to play each other again at the end of the season in Week 10. I have no idea what's going to happen here. D5 seems to be on a tear right now. What do we got from these teams? What do you expect to see here, MD?
Well, Dropship 5 really has been the talk of, I would say, the season, but really the last year, coming onto the scene with the World Championships. We all know kind of how that played out, almost making it into the top 5 for the regionals, just barely missing out as essentially a brand new team. Well, they've taken that momentum from the World Championships and rolled right into MRBC Season 9. They are currently sitting 15-0, undefeated on the season. They have three matches played so far. They've already played 42nd, SIG, and Steel Jaguar, and beaten all of them 5-0. Haven't played 228 yet. That's going to be a great matchup. But on the other hand, we've got Osiriz. They've FIDO'd SIG in 42nd. Very good starts by them. They took a close match against Steel Jaguar, 3-2. Then they played 228 and wound up losing 1-4. Still puts them in the current league standing in first place because they have 4 matches reported as opposed to Dropship 5 in second place with only 3 matches reported. But if you look at the scores, Dropship 5 is 125 rep points behind Osiriz, and they haven't played their Week 4 match yet. They are really doing a great job right now.
Wow, absolutely. Did they play SJR in Week 1?
Go back and take a look at their schedule. They did open up the season with SJR, so you could say maybe Steel Jaguar are a little rusty. They did play in the regionals for the World Championships, had a little bit of roster turnover as well. Dropship 5 picked up some players in between those, so maybe that's part of it. But again, right now, undefeated, only 125 rep points behind first place without 5 matches, 5 drops reported is pretty darn crazy. On the other hand, we talked about Osiriz, had some really good weeks. You know, that match against 228, which was not their week 1, it was their second drop of the season. A tough one there, but they seem to be kind of up and down, Osiriz, in both the Star League and in MRBC. So it's kind of a question of which team you're going to see tonight. You know, sometimes they're really on a roll, sometimes maybe having a little bit of a tough time. If they're on a roll, this will be a really, really close matchup.
Absolutely. D5, they were able to rout SJR having a little bit of roster issues in that first match. They seem to have kind of found their stride a little bit more here, and we're, of course, seeing them start to win more often. And then 42 and SIG, the bottom of the division right now. So you can kind of say that D5's schedule has been relatively easy thus far. Everything from here on out is going to get significantly harder. At the very least, the 228 match, which I believe got pushed back, and then of course this match. I don't think we're going to see D5 taking this 5-0 here. I'm really excited to see how this one goes, and we're really going to be able to see how these teams truly stack up against each other. They had a great start. Hopefully they didn't get lazy or anything like that, because they've got to know that they've got a really tough schedule moving forward.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what happens with this. Osiriz, I'm sure they're out to make a point, and they want to win this just as badly as D5 does, and they're going to try and do everything in their power. But until we see these teams go head-to-head, there's only one way to find out, of course, and that's to watch them play. But taking a look at the stats here for Dropship 5, what do you see in those stats that stick out to you?
I think, and this is something that I've kind of noticed just playing D5, we scrim them fairly often. It's not always fun, but we do it. They have a very balanced team. They have a lot of guys sitting in that 250 average match score range. I don't think there's necessarily any one player that jumps out at you and says this player is, the top player on D5. They carry their team. They do, they put the team on their back when they need it, and they're kind of the main guy. Instead, you've got a lot of just really solid players on this team. You're looking at Banana at 256 average match score. You've got brother Tibber at 241. You've got Charlemagne at 248. The Silken at 269. Just these average match scores again. I think the lowest on this is 170 for Mongo, and even that is respectable for only 8 games played. It's kind of the most impressive thing I think to me about Dropship 5 is they're doing it with just a good core group of very good players. Not necessarily, some great players, some very good players, and some good players. They have just a nice blend. And I think that's something that you don't always see, even in these top teams. You see some skill disparity.
Absolutely. And then switching it over to Osiriz, what do you see over on this one?
And this, to me, is a little bit more of the traditional team. We see Airlock 269, best average match score on his team. Quite a good player, we all know that. But you've got some other high scores in there. 257 for Ghost and 242 for Kaffengast. But at the same time, have a couple more guys below the 200 mark. That's again nothing wrong with that at this point in the season. Just something to keep in mind. That a little bit more of an imbalance, maybe, and I don't even want to say imbalance because that puts down these guys who are all very good players, but just a little bit more of what we traditionally see, which is kind of a slightly larger distribution in average match score. But again, you can't take any of these players and say that they aren't at the very least very good players. You don't get to this level, you don't do this well without being a very good player.
Absolutely. So we are going to be watching these guys go head-to-head. First up on Caustic Valley. Let me get that fixed here. Caustic Valley, 4 lights, 4 mediums, 0 heavies, 0 salts on domination. Of course, this is the only domination game mode drop in the match. It is a much lighter drop, so this will force a fight in the center. Of course, the domination circle basically positioned right on the Caldara. It does overhang the edges a little bit, so it is possible to hold the circle while in cover. But if there's going to be a fight, it's going to be either in the circle or it's going to be around the outside of the circle, but with somebody still keeping a toe inside that circle, because the last thing you want is to be in the middle of a giant brawl and have one guy end up capping that 1-minute timer on you and flipping the match that way. So usually people are pretty good about making sure somebody's at least contesting the circle. We have seen some fights around the outside, maybe with an Overwatch mech sitting on the inside. But really, a lot of this is going to happen very close to that circle, and because of that, the Caldara, of course, has higher heat concentration in the middle of the map. Might be seeing a lot more builds that are cooler running, maybe a lot more SRMs, machine guns, small pulse combos. If we do see something like a Nova, it is going to be really cooking. We might also see flamers in use here. Being able to instantly heat cap someone on this kind of map can essentially crowd control that mech very quickly. So even one mech with flamers could completely wreck the other team by setting them behind on the DPS right off the bat. And of course, it comes down to efficiency because those flamers, of course, can heat you up as well. But you might be seeing them as secondary weapons on griffins and stuff like that. Who knows? What do you think we're going to see on this one?
I think if we do see flamers, we probably won't see a full flamer mech. That has proven itself not to be the greatest strat on Caustic Valley
unless you're Proton
before.
Or something. But
unless you're Proton. But
I at least
I think you're right.
laser.
These teams, even on the light drop, you have to kind of focus your deck away from lasers because of how hot this map is. It's very easy to fight in the circle, in the caldera. There's all these rocks and bumps, and you're going up and down, and your mech's kind of hitting off terrain and things on the edges of the circle. It's very easy to kind of lose track of where you are, lose track of your targets. The caldera is a natural point to fight, and especially on a drop this light, that can happen. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised to see some people rotate over towards saddle, and maybe you get kind of a half caldera, half saddle push. But I think this is the map where you're going to see, LBX 20 hunchbacks and anything basically SRM. You might even see SRM Jenner 2Cs instead of the laser variant, etc. It's going to be kind of just a little bit of a different flavor from what we normally see in Drop 1.
Could see some LBX as well. We've seen that a lot more lately. The crits are there. It's been pretty brutal weapon. It is very heat efficient as well. But the biggest thing is the rocks on the outside of the caldera. They can provide a little bit of cover to kind of force. It's hard to focus a target that's pressed up against the rocks. So you could put like a ballistic mech or something against that, and they would have to go out of their way to come get you. So you can kind of protect your more important mechs. But of course, there is only one way to find out what is going to happen in this, and that is to watch and see.
Yeah, it's something that I think kind of might have gotten a little understated when Caustic Valley got its map rework that a while ago. The map was bigger, but one of the things that they did was put a lot more of those little rocks that just make you bump up and down around the caldera. It's more so of a pain now. There's more cover, but there's also those inconvenient little rocks there.
All right, here we go. Taking a look at Osiriz. We've got a Spider 5K, very deadly with that large pulse and 4 machine guns set up. They have a Hunchback 4SP and a very tanky SRM and laser Hunchback. Nova, Stormcrow, Nova. So they have doubled up on their Novas. They are bringing a Wolfhound, Arctic Cheetah, and the missile variant of the Jenner 2C. What have you got over on the D5 side?
So they have the standard LBX 20 Hunchback, but they doubled up on small pulse Novas and threw in a small pulse Party Crow as well. So I guess neither team kind of believes in the heat problems that we do. Maybe they just can handle it better than us Div B players can. But Kit Fox as well. Actually kind of a fun mech to bring on this. It's a little more heat efficient. It's got 4 machine guns on it. Can do some damage if you open up some mechs.
All right, Osiriz is starting to think about moving up to the caldera, but Dropship 5 actually fanning out to that saddle position. And they're doing some light trading back and forth. So far, not much damage dealt out to Osiriz, but 91% on the Locust. Some of those pulse lasers from the little bit longer range Osiriz mechs starting to add up. Osiriz has cut through Caldera, and they've actually come around, but it looks like we actually had a nice airstrike or something. Oh, actually, I think that's LBX on that Hunchback 2CC up on top of the hill. He's just spraying into the main body, but here we go. The big push is on. Charlemagne cutting right through him, but we got 3 Osiriz mechs kind of isolated. They're moving up right into the middle of the crowd. Looks like they're trying to jump on Ziaz in that Nova. Sail taking down Reckless right off the bat. Ziaz is down to 63%, but we've actually got a few fights with machine guns around the outside. Airlock in the Nova down to 52%. He is getting sprayed by Starmon in that Kit Fox.
Legged, and he goes down.
T-Fun takes down Wolf CP, but the Airlock goes down in that Nova. They were able to focus him down. The other Nova, Wolverine, goes down. Both Novas for Osiriz are down. Arctic Cheater on the backside. T-Fun takes down Ziaz. That evens it up a little bit. Looks like they've got Snap Style isolated here. He's in the Nova on the backside, and he's getting shredded down by the Wolfhound Spider and Jenner 2C. The Hunchback 4SP is still alive. He's getting chased by the Locust, running back to his teammates.
And he has flamers and using them pretty effectively so far, but it's not going to save him against this Kit Fox with machine guns here.
Has SRMs as well, it seems.
And he does. Let's take a look at that build.
He's got 4 SRM2s.
That is 4 SRM2s.
Very interesting. But while that's happening, though, one mech remaining for Osiriz. They fire incredibly fast.
Oh my
God. But
God.
Kit Fox, Saruman working that Wolfhound. Looks like this is going to be a very clean win for Dropship 5. They have a lot of hurt mechs, but Osiriz punching right into the middle of the line for D5 just seemed to give D5 that much easier of a time focusing mechs down. Snap Style in that Nova down to 24%. How hurt is he? He's legged, and he was one-shot center torso, and he lost a side torso. And, of course, Charlemagne in that Locust was one-shot CT as well. Those ones just got away from him. I have a feeling that 4SP was just... all he had left was the Flamer. He didn't seem to be able to seal the deal on that Locust.
And I think that goes back to what we kind of talked about a little bit in the opening. Osiriz is a little bit better at these heavier drops, and that was not a clean push by them. We talked about it a little bit. A couple of mechs got split up kind of a little too far in front, got taken down early on there. That Stormcrow, 74 damage, and that Stormcrow definitely hurts. And it really felt like the 4SP maybe wasn't in front as much for Osiriz as he should be. You really want to lead with that.
I think they just straight up ignored him and went for the juicier targets in the back. They pushed in, but I don't know. It's hard to say, but 399 damage, 4 kills, 2 assists for Charlemagne in that 4 SRM2 Locust.
And 478 for the Kit Fox, Saruman of many colors.
He basically shrugged off the flamers. It's like he didn't even care that he was getting flamered at all. The heat was not a problem for that mech. Kit Fox, relatively heat efficient. That Locust has to be really heat efficient. They had they had a Spider as well. They did bring dual Novas, so a little bit hotter there, but they had the dual LBX Hunchback, which is extremely heat efficient. So it just seemed like, compare that to the Wolfhound with, I think, medium pulse lasers, dual Novas again. They did have a Spider.
They had the Stormcrow. Both teams ran a Stormcrow,
which is pretty common. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't see the builds of the Crow, did you?
D5 had small pulse. I think Osiriz was running the same small pulse Stormcrow. I think they both took 3 small pulse mediums, which is a little unusual on this. A lot of times you see teams double up on the Hunchback 2Cs with the LBX 20s.
You do see that, but at the same time, heat efficiency doesn't matter as much when you can pull the trigger and take someone's leg off in one shot. At this level, when these guys are able to put a full burn on their target without missing, if you've got it set up for left click, right click, and you can take out a leg on the left click and a leg on the right click, especially when you're focusing properly, you're going to heat up, but you're also killing a mech instantly compared to the LBX 20 mech, where on the approach, you've got a lot more spread. You really got to get him in there. The Hunchback can be a lot easier to kill. It's a bit of a trade-off. It doesn't run like a Nova, and right now we're seeing a lot of Novas in use because the Nova seems to be the champion brawler medium right now. It used to be Griffins and stuff, but SRM4's got their
and the resize made the Nova go from being a huge mech to a very small medium.
That is true as well. So there's many reasons, many factors. A lot of it comes down to the play style. D5 was set up to receive. Osiriz obliged them. That allowed their LBX Hunchback to kind of just sit there and shoot. The LBX Hunchback is significantly, well, not significantly, it depends on the engine you put it in, but it can be slower than other mediums as well. So if you're trying to tote him around and aggress with him, it could be issues. But if you're setting up to receive, you'll have a lot more options. But I like the position that D5 took. They had guys up on one hill, they had guys up on the saddle, and Osiriz came around and went right into the kill box, right into the middle
Right
of
into
them,
the middle.
and just kind of gave them the opportunity to shred them down.
And you were right on that Hunchback 4SP. He was in front, which is the right thing to do, but D5 did also the right thing to do, which is ignore him and get some of those higher DPS mechs down first, realizing that Hunchback is so tanky. It takes so long to take him down that if you leave those other mechs up, they're just ripping you to shreds while you try and focus him down as the lead target.
Once again, we will be doing giveaways during the stream. All you got to do to enter the giveaway is just participate in chat. You will be automatically added to the list, and we will be doing a roll whenever I feel like it. Of course, Premium Time, a Mech Bay, and 500 MC are on the docket for giveaways today. So make sure you guys are getting hyped up in chat. Don't bother with any sort of exclamation point raffle or anything like that. We have that turned off for this stream.
Raffle
But
incoming.
just say something. Say anything. Get hyped.
Say exclamation point raffle.
So we are looking at the replay right now. As we saw, Osiriz punching through Caldara and then cutting left to that saddle region. I don't know if there was really a better way to necessarily go into that. Maybe punch
The only
through
thing I
saddle
can think
themselves.
of is, go on the other side of saddle, try and isolate that LB20 Hunchback so he basically has saddle.
You'd really have to move away from the circle.
Even then,
to do
you'd
that.
have to move away. Yeah,
So you'd
it's
have
hard.
to either
That's a
leave
good position by
mech there
D5
or something. But that Locust though, doing all that work, that was an intense
I mean, that was
little
like
Locust
machine
right
gun
there.
SRM2s.
Exactly. I mean, it's not a high output, but the DPS itself just seemed that he could fire it nonstop. And in this, you typically see the mediums die first, and then you see the lights die. So that light basically able to fire nonstop on targets, able to just keep
especially
rocking it.
because at that same time, the other lights, the small pulse lights, are running up on their heat cap. They've got to slow down a little bit with their firing.
Absolutely, and of course, we know Mongo loves that Kit Fox, so he got Saruman to take up his flag in his favorite mech. So props to him. But yeah, that Locust was cherry. A couple of them definitely got away from him. So
yeah, and losing that focus definitely hurts because you take what could have been an 8-6 match and you make it an 8-2 match. You're costing yourself some rep points there.
All right, drop 2, Tourmaline, 2 lights, 4 mediums, 2 heavies, 0 assaults on Conquest. So we'll be on Conquest throughout the rest of this map. This can go either way. You've seen Brawl, you've seen DACA pushes, you've seen range. I have a feeling we'll probably be seeing ranged.
Yeah,
probably
I
out
would
of
agree with
D5
that.
at the very least. Map control. There's 4 mediums to work with, so we might be seeing a Viper, Ice Ferret, something like that. For the cap game, we might see a lot of light fights off in the side caps. Who is going to be able to control this one? Dropship 5 in the upper left-hand corner, or upper right-hand corner of the map, of course. They have the stage region, and then Osiriz coming in from the hoop side, the Stargate side. They can set back range as well if they wanted to, but there's only
I
one
almost
way to
like the
find out
Stargate
what's going on.
side
Let's take a look.
for map control. It's a little more open, but if you spread out well, you can take advantage of that and force the other team to use cover to peek only 1 or 2 at a time. You've got to power position it though.
They both have mechs in Alpha Lance, so these guys are probably going to move up to take a look, although they only got the Nova and Stormcrow. They're actually backing up to set up and receive for a brawl. They're sending that Spider up to take a look, but the Alpha Lance for Osiriz immediately breaking away as well.
Immediately backed off,
and
going to
cutting
Theta.
in towards Theta. They've got the fast cap on Theta by that maneuver. The mechs were fast enough compared to some of our heavier assault drops. The mechs are definitely faster and able to move. Now we've got a Huntsman here with a Gauss rifle and 4
And a
ER
PPC.
Meads.
Oh, is that a Gauss Mead?
and 4 ER Meads on Ghost in that Huntsman.
And dual Night Gears moving up as well to Theta. Kind of aggressive here with all their mechs going right to Theta. You wonder, are they going to try and push D5? Because it looks like D5 is setting up to receive that push over stage.
maybe they want them to think that. I mean, they went up aggressively, but they've also got somebody way back there capping Sigma. I have a feeling that Osiriz is going to go map control, but they've established themselves in a power position right in the middle of the map. Kappa and now Epsilon are going towards Dropship 5. Of course, tickets in favor of Osiriz right now, but they'll have an easy cap back on Gamma. But at any point here, Osiriz could send somebody back to Kappa and try and hold the 3 cap. It'll be very difficult to assault Theta from the positions that D5 is in. But what they can't be doing is taking a lot of extra hits.
Damage like this night gear up here.
We got the Hunchback 2C. I'm pretty sure this is an EMP special for Ultra AC2s. Up high, getting a lot of shots in on that night gear. Great positioning by Matt.
That was Reckless being a little too reckless in his night gear.
That has basically forced Osiriz off the stage, at least in parts of it, because when they go up there, they might be shot from on high by that Hunchback. I think D5 up in the rafters, but they're really just spreading out and looking to get angles. And they're going to be able to start.
And now this Nova taking damage by Osiriz too, and he's a small pulse Nova. He shouldn't be up there doing those sort of maneuvers, trying to get vision when they know that's where they're trading from.
Well, Osiriz seems to be looking as if they were trying to find an angle. Like they're trying to poke out where the weakness is of the D5 line and maybe contest that. But they do have their night gear up there taking shots. Damage has been dealt to both teams. So, like I said, and now that Kappa has flipped in favor of Osiriz, there's no reason for Osiriz to rush. They've got the 3 cap. They've got the ticket advantage. D5 is going to have to make a move. I think they're going to start working some of these angles, try to push Osiriz out of this position or die trying. We'll have to see how this all goes down, though. They still have guys up in rafters. But, you know, a back cap could occur here. Then it'd be a light fight. There we got, looks like a
ER large spider off in the distance.
Those things can be annoying as hell. That one ER large laser not doing a lot of damage, but if left ignored, he's just bleeding you. You can't just ignore him forever, but he's single-handedly, and we've seen this before, single-handedly causing Osiriz to shift away from that position. They might try contesting it, but it's such an agile mech that unless he's extremely predictable, they can continue.
Looks like Osiriz has made up their mind, though. They're moving left side hard.
It looks like D5 is actually pushing up close, though. They might be doing this in response to what they've seen out of D5. They might be setting up to receive. There is a Viper jumping up on the top. He just fell down right into the middle of Osiris's line. He's going to pay for that. A sail making a huge mistake.
That was bad.
Missed his jump going up and over, and that's going to hurt for D5. They're going to have to make a move here pretty damn quick. But losing that fast capper, there's no hope. You know, lights versus lights maybe, but with an ER large spider, they were banking on that Viper to be able to do map control, and it's not going to happen.
And now, on the other hand, they almost jumped on that light, and I think they maybe should have.
Trade's still going out. They're still playing extremely tight. Brother Timber in that night gear, down to 83%. Let's see if anything's critical on him. His left shoulder is starting to get opened up. It just got opened up. But now an aggressive door swing on the left side. They're starting to put a lot of fire down. Airlock has to be careful because he's kind of presenting himself right up on top. I don't know if everybody else is able to get angles. They're finally getting around the outside, and they're starting to put some shots in. The machine guns from Charlemagne pumping right into the center of Reckless in that night gear, down to 46%, but he was able to get back around the corner, and their teammates are finally starting to get some shots in. 2 Dropship 5, 3 mechs very hurt on D5, and we got some light play in the middle here. Matt in that UAC 2 Hunchy getting shredded down by T-Fun.
Charlemagne does take down Reckless and Wildfire.
But Cyrus has lost 2 mechs, but 4 mechs down for D5. That T-Fun in that spider now getting on the back of Saruman. Ziaz gets a kill, but he's all alone up in that corner, down to 22%. They're focusing him down, and he is not long for this world. He goes down. 3 mechs for D5, but Osiris at 4. Looks like the Stormcrow is sticked. So you've got the Cheetah and you've got the Spider remaining with weapons. They're working on the Arctic Cheetah right now. Wolverine doesn't seem to be doing much shooting. He's got large pulse lasers. So he does have it. He was probably running heat camp. Charlemagne takes down Cafe. We're tied up 3-3, but with one sticked mech. Charlemagne now getting
so
on
much
Ghost.
armor. Oh, and the spider overheats.
Spider overheats. T-Fun is shredding on that leg, but he still has not been legged. Saruman in that Arctic Cheetah down to 20%, somehow still alive. But Charlemagne's still there, just doing work. Ghost takes down Saruman, but Charlemagne goes down, and then it's going to be an easy cleanup on Wolf CP. And this is going to go in favor of Osiriz. 8-5. What a bloody fight. Holy
Wow.
cow.
And that, honestly, D5 did a great job making that as close as it was. They were really beat up when that engagement basically began. That was honestly kind of surprising. I thought for a while there it was going to be an easy roll by Osiriz. D5's lights Charlemagne really in Saruman of many colors in the Arctic Cheetah and the Spider, trying to pull that back closer, get as many kills as they can. Picked up 3 kills between them.
Can you imagine
made it close.
If Sale did not make that mistake?
Yeah.
How much closer or in favor of D5 that could have been. This just goes to show one big mistake can swing it so hard. Osiriz, though, very impressive, not even giving a Sale a chance to say, oh shit, before they had him backcored and took him down. 0 damage, didn't even have an opportunity to get out, so very well done by Osiriz, taking advantage of that mistake, and then still, they chose to go aggressive. They were up by 1 mech. I don't think that was a bad plan, especially since they were up on caps. The caps were rolling in their favor for quite a while. It was at about 500 ticks by the end of it. But it could have, D5 could have still pulled something off, especially with some of the damage that was dealt out early. But Osiriz protecting its mechs very well, focusing very well, and just working D5 down. A lot of intensity there. And, of course, the Light's doing a hell of a lot of work for both teams.
And that's why you got to be very careful going up the spires, especially in some of these lighter, faster mechs. Got to make sure you can stop in time, or else you're going right off the edge. And obviously did not work out the way Assail intended it to work out.
One thing to note here, so Osiriz takes drop 2. They had 8 kills and a bonus, obviously. But Dropship 5 killed 5 mechs, and they got a bonus as well. So that's why they are at 525 rep to 400 rep for Osiriz, even though they are 1-1. So Dropship 5 still in the lead, but there's still a lot of Mech Warrior left to play. So who knows, especially getting into those higher tonnages. As you were saying earlier on in the stream, Osiriz wasn't really doing too well in their lighter drops, it seems.
Yeah, and I think they'll be happy to win that drop 2, because it's one of their weaker. Drop 1 and drop 2, I believe, are their 2 weakest drops of the season. Actually, you know what? That's drop 2 is slightly better than them for drop 4. Their 2 best drops of the season are drop 3 and drop 5, 2 of the heavier drops, and the other thing is the 2 drops without light mechs. Kind of an interesting thing to keep in mind.
Drop 5 has light mechs, but no mediums.
You're right. So,
but still,
I'm just talking out of my, what.
Osiriz has to feel good about that.
Drop 5.
Now they're starting to get into their favorite types of drops. But it's hard to say what Dropship 5's weaknesses are because they haven't lost yet. So
yeah, well, they just now have.
But perhaps D5 is going to be getting better in their heavier drops too. So anything could happen here. But we'll have to see how this plays out. Let's go back to the replay here and just see some of the stuff that went down before we get into this next one. So aggressive push right off the bat for Osiriz, taking Theta. They had great map control. D5 had no chance really to take that back. They did have the mechs for it. They could have sent the Viper out, but it seemed like Dropship 5 either felt like they were trading well and were just going to stick to it for a while, or they expected Osiriz to do a hard push and wanted to be ready for it. They didn't have to respond with a 3-2 situation. They don't have to respond right away to a back cap. Like, they don't have to try and get a back cap. They have a little bit of time to play. Eventually they were going to have to move, but there is a period of time where they continue trying to trade. That Spider on that outside, of course, forcing Osiriz to tuck in. They eventually said enough is enough, But really, I mean, do you think Osiriz would have continued that left side push if that Viper didn't sacrifice himself like that? Or did they do that in response to, we're up a mech, let's go kill him?
It's tough to say. I almost thought they were going to go left side, but left side far all the way around.
Yeah, they were shifting that way. They definitely were shifting that way. And I think
because that Spider was playing over there, and I think the best approach to go up on, that ridge line that D5 was originally set up on is to go deep around left side and kind of come up the side there.
So Sale, I think, was going to try and start getting some shots in, but he just touched down, and oh my goodness, savage. Maritzi landing the killing blow in, what was he in? He was in the Nova. So that was the small pulse Nova, able to finish him off.
Yeah, they did have some brawl mechs on Osiriz, but so did Dropship 5, and frankly, like I said, I think Osiriz was going to push hard left, or maybe considering it. I would have if I were them. But the other thing to keep in mind is they probably had eyes on D5 moving up on the corner, so they said, well, let's have a change of plans here.
Yeah.
That Viper drops down, and then you're up a mech. You just took out a brawler mech, more importantly. So, it's time to go win this game, and that's what they did.
So they swung the door left. Obviously, the three guys on the left are in a much lower position. Airlock kind of presenting himself a little bit too early compared to where his teammates were, but was able to back out. They took a lot of focus fire on that, but
they sent their lights. They sent their lights over stage along with the Nova, which I think helped them out a little bit because it took some of the pressure off.
I think they got that Stormcrow really hurt right off the bat. But then you can see those machine guns in the background working that UAC-2. You can't just leave that UAC-2 Hunchy uncontested. He can put out quite a bit of DPS. Relatively cool. So, of course, they send T-Fun over there to seal the deal on Matt, which was very big. Their lights were definitely doing some work, but really picking up a lead and holding on to that lead all the way through the end. It was still close. I mean, D5 was putting up a hell of a fight, but being a mech down can be very costly. And, of course, those lights doing fantastic work. The only reason they're not killing the Stormcrow at this point is because he's sticked. They don't care about him. He's essentially dead. He can try and ram people or get in their way, but really at this point, it's 4-2. But then those two lights for D5 making it close.
And those lights were not in good shape when they were engaging there. I mean, the armor, they made it close, but even looking at the armor scores, they were in the 40s, the 30% when they were engaging some of those mechs, and still being able to get a couple kills is huge for D5 because, like you said, it allows them to keep a slight reputation points lead here.
And you can see T-Fun just mowing down with those machine guns. He did have a large pulse laser, but he could, towards the end of a fight like that, even though you only have one laser, it does get hot. And so you do occasionally have to lay off that laser a little bit, especially after expending your cool shot. But he was able to continue putting DPS out with those machine guns reliably, pulling 426 damage in that Spider. Spider 5K, still a very viable mech, extremely deadly if left alone. But really just great play out of Osiriz, absolutely. And Assail, I'm sure, wishes he could take that one back.
Yeah, see him in chat here a little bit. Looks like he wasn't planning on doing that.
That wasn't
swan
part
dive
of the plan.
off the pillar there.
Oh my goodness, man! Great crowd tonight. We're already to 93 viewers. Excellent. That is what I like to see. Thank you, everybody, all you MRBC enthusiasts, MRBC fans, for coming out tonight. Hopefully, we were able to put on a great show. I think we should go ahead and do our first giveaway since we've got.
Yeah, why don't we do a crowd reward here?
All right, let's do that. I'm just gonna quick kick off Moobot, MD, and myself.
Rip.
And this is premium time. So far, a great show. These two teams definitely putting out some numbers. Can't wait to see how this one turns out. Is Osiriz going to be able to turn this into momentum?
Yeah, well, especially going into some of their better drops. Like we said, drop 3, drop 5. Those are the ones that they want to be at.
Hugo, son, you are the winner of some premium time. I will be messaging you after the stream is done with your codes. Congratulations.
Is that all one word, or did you just like Hugo,
son,
comma, son?
2 N's. Hugo, son.
Oh, I see.
All right, Drop 3 Mining Collective, or The Mining, as some like to call it. On Conquest, 0 lights, 3 mediums, 4 heavies, 1 assault. This is, of course, the Commander Assassination, so the assault has to be a 65-ton mech. And
an 85-ton mech.
85-ton mech. And there are, of course, bonuses associated with whether or not you can keep your commander alive. Team 1 has a bit more rangy side with the cakes, or whatever you... OP barrels, as you like to hear 228 call it sometimes. Basically able to set up several ranged mechs, especially if they have jump shots up in that region, and able to really control a lot of the map. But Team 2 has options as well. But there's only one way to find out. That's to take a look.
One of the best-looking maps in MechWarrior Online. Rest in peace, The Mining.
I do really like this map. It's fun to play, too. There's sometimes a lot of little fences that you can kind of bounce off of and stuff. Little terrain annoyances, but for the most part...
Yeah, but there's something for everyone on this map.
Absolutely. So it looks to me like we've got an Orion on Osiriz, LB-10s and SRMs. SRMs on the Huntsman.
Mini Atlas.
Night Gear with Gauss PPC. So they have Overwatch. ER small lasers on the Nova. Marauder 2C running medium pulse lasers. Another Overwatch Night Gear with the dual Gauss. Summoner rolling 5 SRM6 Artemis and then SRM4. So very heavy brawl for Osiriz with 2 options for Overwatch. And they are presenting those Night Gears right off the bat. Like, hey, we're ranged. Set up for range. You know, no problem.
Yeah.
What do you got over on the D5 side?
D5's got a little bit of a mix. They've got a Marauder 2C with Gauss rifles, SRMs, and ERPPCs. Banana, what are you doing? They've also got Night Gears, both Night Gears they are running with medium lasers and Gauss rifles, although I believe both Night Gears have ERPPCs too?
I don't think Osiriz is going to be wasting any time here. They are moving up to this right side. D5 knows right where they are, though, and I think they're setting up to receive. And here we go. Big push by Osiriz. Coming right up and over. They have a lot of jump jets, though, so that 2D2 leading the charge, trying to get up top, but D5 is starting to move out. Looks like they're sending the Nova up and over, and a lot of damage being dealt to Osiriz, but those heat caps are starting to run up. It all comes down to whether or not they can close the distance and start getting some of these kills.
Dropship 5 has a Nova and a Viper as well. They need to get some help over to these Night Gears. Here comes the Nova.
They're going for the Night Gears because they are so heat efficient that if they can take them out quickly, the other PPC mechs are going to be running really hot.
It looks like this Night Gear is absolutely trapped.
There goes Snaps out. He is popped. The other one is incredibly damaged as well. Nobody has died for Osiriz yet, but D5 is starting to get them surrounded. They've got the Hunchback 2CA up in the backside, and the Marauder 2C up on top, starting to shoot some of them in the back there. He's actually going toe-to-toe with that Orion, and he's starting to pay for it. He is getting completely slammed in the face. Reckless in the Marauder 2C on the right side, up against Brother Tibber, down at 44%. Nobody has died for Osiriz yet, though. They are taking a lot of pop shots.
Marauder 2C went down for Dropship 5 as well. The Night Gears in the back for Osiriz are doing work. There's a Viper for Dropship 5 trying to get some fire off of him.
19% on Ziaz, and he still has all of his weapons. How is that possible? He is still alive and still doing damage and able to kill Kippers. But Brother Tibber and the other Night Gear finally goes down. 3 dead for Dropship 5. But really, this could still go either way because of how hurt Osiriz mechs are.
Ziaz just went down by T-Fun.
They still have 3 down in the tunnel, but they've got Ghost and Reckless up top in some sort of cover, so they're not really getting hit a lot. But they're going for Charlemagne down. He gets popped. 2 left for Dropship 5. Osiriz is still pushing, still going. The remaining 2 mechs for Dropship 5 are relatively fresh, but they got to be running hot.
They're out of the fight right now. They're letting Osiriz get close.
They're letting him get close, but if they have the opportunity to cool down, we might see mechs popping for Osiriz here. Wolf CP getting some shots in on Reckless in that Marauder 2C. Now he's shooting right across. He's getting assailed by Ghost now. And what is happening on the other side? We've got Matt in that Summoner. taking some shots from this. Osiriz sent their freshest mechs in to handle these guys. So we've got a 1v1 Brawler 2d2 versus PPC Summoner. Gauss PPC Summoner. Interesting. So he's trying to get some range, but he's still getting pecked on. Looks like the Nova
now
and the Night Gear are joining him.
In as well.
Matt just cannot get any of these mechs dead. They're just not going down. Reckless
Wolf
takes
CP
down
goes
Wolf
down
CP.
finally
It's
in the
all up to
corner.
Matt. Oh, and
Down
he gets
he
pecked
goes.
down. What a
Now
good
that
win
was a
for
clean
Osiriz. 8-2. Look at how hurt these mechs are, though. Just by the percentages alone. See, 2d2. He still has all armor on his torsos. That's why they sent him in. But one-shot CT for the Nova. That one got away from him. Night Gear, one-shot CT on the Night Gear. Huntsman, left leg. He is legged, and his left leg is 1 or 2 shot, depending on what you hit it with. The Marauder 2C, 2-shot left torso. Night Gear,
Shadowhawk
CT,
TD2 's
1 or 2
fresh.
shot, probably 1. The other Night Gear, 1-shot CT. Really, how hurt those guys are. But they were able to rotate out, send their freshest mechs forward, protect themselves. This was a hell of a lot closer than it looked, but well played Osiriz, continuing to keep that pressure on them, force D5's heat cap up, and then keep their mechs safe. And they still
That's the
did
thing.
work,
You keep
too.
the pressure and you keep your mechs up. That's
That
a
is
good job.
impressive. And it was weird because they weren't just running around in a third grade soccer team murder ball either. They had guys moving up on the right. They had guys still down in the tunnel. And I think the tunnel guys, majority of them were the ones that were one-shot CT really hurt. But they were still able to join the fight late in the game and still put out numbers.
Yeah, I just don't want to know what third grade soccer teams you've been watching.
They all chase the ball together in one pack. You know?
Oh, it's the murder part that confused me.
Yeah, the murder ball. Oh,
yeah,
man.
that was just really solid fundamentals by Osiriz there, knowing how to rotate out your hurt mechs. Basically, you need that instinct, right, of I'm hurt, I need to pull back, but understanding that not everyone can pull back at the same time, right? You have to understand whether you're truly getting damaged more than your teammates or whether you just feel like you're taking a lot of fire, so you might as well pull back. If that's the case, then everyone's pulling back and your rush stalls out. But if you know, okay, I'm a little fresher than some of my teammates, I can keep going here, and some of your other teammates rotate back, you can do what Osiriz just did, which is keep the pressure up while not losing your mechs, and that's huge.
Everybody did fantastic on Osiriz. Airlock, though, 649 damage in that very hurt Night Gear. Just dropping the Gauss like it's hot. Just continuing to put those shots downfield and popping mechs. I mean, that is just absolutely fantastic gameplay. That's wrong. Let me fix that. Not only that, but Osiriz with an 8-2. That's a major victory for them. And keeping their commander mech alive, pulling a bonus. That puts them right back on top, 750 rep to 575 rep. No bonus, of course, 4 D5 on that one. So Osiriz putting themselves, basically eliminating the bad drop they had before, getting 8-2'd themselves. They're able to pop that back in their favor, and really all we've got left is that drop 2 with the 8-5 decision double bonus. So it is still relatively close, but Osiriz, of course, they needed that. They really needed that, and they might be able to turn that into momentum. D5 is going to have to come up with an answer here.
Yeah, and D5 it didn't feel like they were necessarily well prepared for that push. And they had eyes, they had the vision on target, but I mean, those Night Gears basically were right up front when that push came, and those are slow mechs. They can't get out of there unless you really respond quickly and start moving ahead of time. And instead, it felt like the Night Gears kind of stayed up front, were trying to get shots downfield. Well, Osiriz just kept on coming and steamrolled them.
The other thing,
there was
too,
no chance.
that I noticed is that Osiriz seemed to do a little bit of a leapfrog push. They let in with their 2d2. He got knocked down to 60%. He pressed himself up against the wall, and then the next man up jumped over his head, fresh, and started putting the pressure on. That 2d2 stayed back, or at least stayed protected, until the end of the game, where he was called upon again to go forward. Some great leapfrogging, rotating out, this push right here, they were able to do this in a way that nobody died on the initial push. So there's the 2D2 getting hit, getting some hits. Okay, 89%. Still, next man up, he ducks up against the wall. They send the Nova up over the top. The 2D2 moves down into the low ground. So now you've got a bunch of 100% mechs basically going up over the top. They opted to go for those Night Gears first. That was great for Osiriz because he cannot leave those Gauss mechs, those cool running dual Gauss 1-ear PPC mechs on D5. They took them right away, right off the bat. They did attempt to split up, but they just didn't give them any opportunity to get out. They did have that hunchback up in the backfield there, so that was a good thing for D5. But of course, Osiriz, it's weird because this was not a praise W maneuver for Osiriz. They aggressed,
but it was close.
But they aggressed smart. They moved in systematically. They picked a target and they started working that target. And you didn't just see that murder ball just float around. They had guys spread out and they were kind of netting D5 into a kill box, which is the opposite of what you would expect to see in a brawl versus range scenario. And it worked really well. And D5 just had nowhere to go. They were forced to stand and fight, and of course, running up their heat cap, their DPS goes into the floor, and Osiriz just continues putting out steady shots and having more mechs. That means more weapons and more heat caps at their disposal. Just well played by Osiriz. Even here, when there's 2 mechs dead for Osiriz and 5 mechs dead for D5, you would still expect to see at least one more mech for Osiriz going down, but smartly pushing up your freshest guys to the front, keeping everybody else pretty well safe in the background. That Grasshopper, I'm amazed he didn't get a kill there, but they did a great job punishing him for that peek.
Yeah, and it's tough to peek when you've got 2-3 mechs looking at you from a couple different angles. You know, with that ER large Grasshopper, you got to keep the burn time on target. Well, you've got all these SRM or PPC Gauss mechs looking at you. They don't have to keep the burn time on target. They just, they see you peek, they pop you, and you're trying to twist away while shoot your ER large laser at the same time. You're going to wind up being like a lightsaber fight instead of getting actual kills.
Absolutely. We went through the mechs, we saw which ones are hurt, and every single one of them, except for that 2D2, was on the brink of death. And that 2D2 just keeping that pressure on Matt, not letting him get away. I think that's SRM4s and an AC-10, I think. Was he rolling LBX-10 or just AC-10?
AC-10.
AC-10, but he was just putting it out nonstop, did not let Matt get away, and then coming away with a very powerful win.
And that, like you said, that's what Osiriz needed. D5, on the other hand, they've got to kind of right the ship here. They hadn't lost coming into tonight. They've now lost 2 out of their first 3 matches of the night here. They've got to kind of figure out, okay, what are we doing wrong? And it might be as simple as just a little bit more fundamentals. You wonder if they lost a little focus on that push. You saw so many mechs hurt. Were they just all shooting any available target? Did they provide the target information to know what mech was hurt where? It's hard to say without having the comms, but that could be also a contributor to Osiriz being able to keep so many mechs up.
Their comms must have been on point. I mean, I can only imagine how that was going in their comms, but and a lot of it comes down to the individual player knowing what needs to be done. But when you're hurt, you still need to know if anybody else is still fresh enough to move up.
Yeah.
They must have known the status of each other enough to know that even when you're sitting at 70%, that you're the freshest mech on the field and need to move up. So that's, that's what it takes.
Yeah, I think that's half comms, it's half instinct. You hear, people calling out, I'm CT Court or something. You got to know, okay, that's this person, that's, this is where they are on the field. There's a lot of information that you can't necessarily clearly and concisely communicate in a battle comm situation. You give little bits of information. As a pilot, one of the things you have to do is take all those little bits of information that you're getting from your teammates, as well as the map information that you have in front of me and just what you see and experience as you're playing the game, and kind of put that together into a little guide in your head that says, you know what, I've got to move up because my teammates need me to keep this pressure on. The drop caller can't always keep track of that for you. You need everyone on the same page, and on that match, there was no doubt in my mind Osiriz was all on the same page.
Absolutely. So, drop 4, 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults on Viridian Bog Conquest. This is a very interesting map. It used to be like brawl, 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 but with the addition of Night Gears, it has really evened out a bit.
Yeah, changed the momentum. Well, you suddenly have a heavier, more range-suited mech that can jump.
With massive jump jets.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, we all know the days when jump jets were the king. We had pop-tarting, and pop-tarting was Dragon Slayers. It was Highlanders. I mean, they were big mechs because they could pack the big pinpoint front-loaded damage weapons, the Gauss rifles, the PPCs. It's a lot harder to do that. I mean, the Hunchback 2C does a good job, but it's 2 PPCs versus, 2 PPCs and a Gauss, or 2 Gauss and a PPC sort of thing, or in an assault mech, 2 and 2. So the Night Gear really, changes that, like you said, basically by introducing pop-tarting as another viable strategy after it hit pin. Absolutely. Not viable for a very long time.
So Team 1 has a lot of options for range here. They can set up guys there. They can still set up guys up here. You set guys further back. The nice thing about this position right here is that it has a little bit of overwatch over Theta. It's not 100% though. There are areas that you can still get the cap and not get contested. But really, anybody coming around this corner can really get shot up a lot. So when you're playing the map control game, Theta becomes important again. I mean, before, when it was all brawl, nobody really cared about Theta, left it uncontested, or maybe sent a light down there, but they didn't really get contested at all. Range options for Team 2, you can set up guys up top on these spires. You have options again. You can't get everybody up there, though. And really, because they've added these stairs here, it gives Team 1 a lot more options, and they can still maneuver, they can be aggressive. It's not an automatic, Team 2 automatically gets this right away. Well, yeah, they can get up there, but they didn't win the entire spire. There's still somebody right on the other side of that. I mean, they don't control the whole thing by default anymore. They still do to have the main steps over on this side here, which gives them some options for return fire, and maybe even some options for Epsilon control, although this right here prevents them from really getting a good look at Epsilon from D5. Hard to say if this is Team 1 sided now, or if it's more balanced than it was in the past, because Team 1 kind of sucked before. It really sucked.
I feel like it's more balanced than it is in the past, but it is a little Team 1 favor. Just frankly, like you said, Team 2 previously was a huge advantage. Team 1 now has, I think, a little bit of advantage, not as much as Team 2 had on the old Bog, but maybe the pendulum swung a little too far in one direction. Still comes down to whether you can land your shots and get good fire in at the end of the day.
Well, there's only one way to find out how this is going to play out, and that's to go in and take a look. I am over on the D5 side. Let's take a look at the mechs here. We got a Marauder 2C with ERPPC Gauss. So they brought a Marauder 2C and a Mauler MX90 with 5 AC5s.
Interesting.
So they did not bring any Kodiaks. That's an interesting choice. Dual Night Gears with Gauss PPC. They do have a Hunchback 2C PPC. So a lot of range mechs here for D5. They do have a Shadowcat for those fast caps. 2 large pulse lasers. And of course an Arctic Cheetah and a laser variant Jenner 2CA. What do you have on the Osiriz side?
So they doubled up on the Kodiak 3s, except one's a dual Gauss PPC, the other is dual PPC 4 UAC 2s. Kind of interesting. I think the most unique thing they've got the Night Gear, pretty standard build for the most part. They do have a Streak SRM-4 Huntsman, 6 Streak SRM-4s to go along with Hunchback and an ER large Grasshopper as well, trying to get high here.
So Theta did fall to Dropship 5 right out of the bat. Kippers was there, but it wasn't able to put a lot of pressure in. He did get a shot or two in and took out a UAV, but being the only guy over on that side, at least at the start, wasn't able to stop that Theta cap. So it's 2 caps to 2 caps with a slight cap advantage, or ticket advantage for Dropship 5, but we do have Osiriz setting up Night Gears in the back, trading over. Reckless getting some shots popped in. At this range, Gauss is not going to be doing full damage. They
do have the ER large Grasshopper, though, and he will do a little bit more damage than those Gauss rifles.
And he's starting to get up into position. He is making the jump. Oh! Moritzi missing the jump. So he's going to be a little bit delayed in putting out damage. That sucks. But, yeah, the Gauss rifles at this range, of course, they nerfed the Gauss rifle range. The optimal range is still the same, but instead of going out to a maximum of 3 times its range and still doing damage, it's only 2 times. So that linear drop-off of damage happens a lot quicker. So when you're, let's say it's optimal 900 meters or so, I think it's more in the 800s. If you're hitting at 1200 meters, you're only doing half damage. As opposed to
right
before,
now,
where
the
you'd be
Jenner
almost
2C
doing
for Osiriz is back-capping Theta, and they've got the Streak Huntsman waiting for a light mech to come over and try and stop this. And it looks like they're going to get their wish. D5 sending lights in on Theta.
All right, that Jenner 2C trying to get out. He does take a couple burns. Oh, man!
Oh, whoa.
T-Fun gets popped. He got some back shots.
Kill?
That
and this Huntsman still hasn't engaged, and the lights
have
run off. What a missed
Dropship
opportunity.
5. Going in, getting the job done, and getting out. They popped him in the back. T-Fun was smartly turning his torso, but D5 reached out and touched him. I don't know if it was a leg, like between the leg butt shot or what, but well done by Dropship 5, doing some significant work on T-Fun. Now, there's a lot of damage going back and forth here from these two
And Airlock
shots.
is getting pounded on the Epsilon side hill here in his Kodiak 3. Let's take a look.
He's down to 1 Gauss rifle remaining in that left torso.
Oh, jeez.
I think it's because he's kind of a right-handed mech, and he was kind of peeking a left-handed position in a way, while the stairs is just nothing. I mean, it's a top-handed position. Cafe's still putting some damage downfield, but yeah, a lot of airstrikes here could do quite a bit of work, and I believe D5's been putting out that damage pretty significantly. They're up on mechs, but they're down on caps. Everybody's kind of peeking the same cover here. A strike would be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, Osiriz is completely balled up here. Not sure they necessarily want to do that, but you know, they've kind of given up maybe some of their control.
They've
in the
sent
meantime,
over to Epsilon.
sending the light in to try and grab Epsilon. But
he doesn't see him.
Surprise attack. Oh.
Charlemagne jumping right on Skinless. He's not going to let him go. One-on-one at the moment, but Saruman is coming in quick. Skinless is not straight up running.
Osiriz
He's going to get jumped, and he gets dropped by Saruman as well. Both kills going to Saruman of many colors. 2
this
kills
Streak
already,
Huntsman
and he's
hasn't
perfectly
been
fresh.
around to help out. I mean, that's a full streak boat that hasn't been backing up his light mechs, or at least close enough to back them up.
That Shadowcat working the outside. He is getting hit, but he's getting some shots in as well, pressuring the Night Gear. Zia is being extremely aggressive on this left side. Man, Osiriz is just getting surrounded at this point. They've got nowhere to go.
D5 has us completely under their control right now.
They sent the Huntsman up to Epsilon. I think he's going to try a cap on it. But by this point, they're down 120 tickets. They could still win on a 3 cap. But, man, they've been hemorrhaging armor.
And Epsilon is no longer safe to be at because there's so many mechs now on the main hill.
And that Shadowcat is ghosting them. He's not going to let them get away for free. He's getting shots in on their backside. Zia is putting down more and more damage as he goes. A mistake obviously could cost him, and of course that was a pretty brutal one. Some streaks getting on him too. Left torso, rear hurt, but he's got the lights backing him up on that side as well. They've got Osiriz pushed back up against the wall right now. At any point that Shadowcat or any of the lights could go back and flip this to a 4 or even 5 cap. But I think they just want to grind these guys down. That Huntsman trying to get up on top. He's got Saruman in his sights, but he's not able to get a lock on him. And of course, the Shadowcat just
There's
harassed
the
him as well.
Shadowcat again.
He might get a shot in on this one. He got a good hit. That was about a 15% hit on that Jenner. Hit him in the back torso. I mean, that's good for him, but the damage is kind of already done. And here comes that 4 cap. They've got Kappa, and they haven't even taken Epsilon yet. This is not looking good at all for Osiriz.
I don't think they can take Epsilon. They've got, the Marauder 2C up top, overwatching Epsilon. All it takes is 1 hit on 1 mech in that square, and you stop the cap.
D5 is moving up to end this.
Yeah, and Osiriz is just cramped into a little corner at this point. They've got nowhere to go.
Good shot in on that Shadowcat. Kipper's doing some work, and a bad overheat by the Shadowcat. He might end up paying for that, but Kipper's turning around, opting to get that night gear instead. They've got D5 pretty hurt, too. If they can start really landing this stuff.
Kipper's got a lot
Saruman's
of free
right in the middle
there.
of it. They need to turn and handle him. Airlock goes down, but Ghost manages to get Saruman. That'll be a big win. But only 3 mechs remaining, and D5's in for blood. They're going to be jumping right on their heads. Charlemagne takes down Reckless. Only 2 remaining. That Streak Huntsman trying to do work against that Arctic Cheetah. Is he going to be able to get him for the rep? Down to 25%.
He needs to get one more
he's
shot
stuck
off.
on the wall. He does
get him.
He's stuck on the wall. He's stuck on... I don't think he could get out if he tried. He's wedged.
He is wedged in there.
The funny thing is that's going to mess up registration on him, and he can shoot all day with those lock-on weapons. They can't kill him. They're going to have to try and shoot underneath him or above him. I think they need to shoot above him. That's going to cost...
Maybe they should just run away at this point.
That is ridiculous.
What is going on?
This was obviously completely unplanned, but they can't find the hitboxes.
Oh, man. At this point, just run up, and there's the match. There's the match.
Oh, my goodness. He was
that
able to...
could have been huge.
He almost
they did get one kill from that.
But, I mean, good attempt by that Huntsman to continue putting out shots. Kind of had terrain on his favor, but that was a 7-3 victory for D5.
What an odd ending to that. Gee whiz. T-Fun, though, taking that back shot, going down with 0 damage done, that hurts big time.
No bonus for Osiriz, but D5 picking up one. That Huntsman did not count towards the bonus, so they didn't have to worry about that too much. But looking at the damage here, 551 out of that Huntsman. So eventually he got used after basically the lights were already done. But that Mauler MX-90 pulling 645. Very impressive numbers coming out of Rage and Banana. That Jenner 2C, though, T-Fun, that was a hard loss right there. That really started things rolling against Osiriz there. Kind of reminds me of a Sail in that Viper getting picked. I mean, those picks make such a huge difference. It can really turn the tide. But you know what that means? My favorite thing in competitive MWO has occurred. We're going to have a 3-2 decision.
It all comes down to this.
It all comes down to this for this. Obviously, Dropship 5 still doing really good in the league tables, but they're human. They've proven that Dropship 5 is human and can make mistakes, and Osiriz is right back in this. In terms of the reputation, Dropship 5 up by 100 reputation at 925 to 825, so they've had better matches so far in these drops, but who knows? I mean, we could even see if Osiriz wins Drop 5, but Dropship 5 kills a bunch of mechs, we could still see a reputation win for Dropship 5, but a drop win for Osiriz, and this happened before. Minor defeats, major defeats, minor victories, major victories, they happen, and they could happen here again. I can't wait to see what these guys come up with.
And Drop 5 is Osiris's best drop, period, and it's not even close. They average a match score of 294 on Drop 5. The next closest is Dropship 5, playing on Drop 5, with a 256 average match score. That's a huge, almost 40 average match score higher than the next team on Drop 5. This is where they love to play. So, you got to say, okay, that match didn't go well for them. Obviously, losing T-Fun in the beginning probably really hurt them. And the biggest thing I think it hurts is it cuts basically in half their ability to prevent Dropship 5 from encircling them with light mechs with the Shadowcat. So, losing that light mech is huge. But now they're going into Drop 5. Drop 5 is clearly what they're best at, and it's not even close. So, they've got to remind themselves that they still have a really good chance to take this match. On the other hand, D5, Drop 5, 256 average match score for their first 3 games. That isn't bad at all. So, again, Drop 5, or God, I can't even say this with Dropship 5, Drop 5. They're killing me. D5 with, kind of the model of, so we say consistency across the board. They don't have a lot of weaknesses, that's evident. But Osiriz, on the other hand, has some pretty noticeable strengths, and I think Drop 5 is one of them. So it's a question of who's going to win out on this, and will we see, and I think it's possible, like you said, someone getting a minor defeat that allows them to stay close in this reputation battle.
Absolutely. So I got a little rare treat here from T-Fun, providing a little bit of an in-cockpit view on, this is Mining Collective, that final shot in that 2D2 against Matt in the Summoner. Gets a great pop there, gets some SRMs in, and just before getting around the corner, able to get that shot in. So excellent shooting there by T-Fun to seal that one up. He almost got away with that one. But popping back, let's take a quick look at the replay from this last one on Viridian Bog. So at this point, T-Fun's already dead. I
want to see how chat reacts to this.
Let's go back
chat
to
right now looking at the Huntsman. Let's see what they say.
So obviously some trades going on. Theta being capped back, and you were saying, okay, well, they've got the Streak Huntsman up over the top. They're baiting the lights in. What's going to happen? T-Fun gets jumped. Now, he's already in small pulse range when this occurs, and really you'd expect T-Fun to just take a little bit of scratch on his exit, but some amazing shooting by both Charlemagne and Saruman. Saruman cutting right and getting a back shot because T-Fun turned left to shake it off, but still had his back exposed to that right side. Good light piloting by Dropship 5. Charlemagne and Saruman executing T-Fun in spectacular fashion, setting the tone for the rest of this drop. Osiriz getting a little nervous because they've dropped a light. Cap game is going to be that much harder now, and really the two lights for Dropship 5 completely fresh, and they're able to just do whatever they want with whatever caps they want. And Osiriz kind of setting up on the stairs, a lot of strikes going down, punishing Airlock, stripping him down to one Gauss rifle. Osiriz just not able to spread out like they wanted before. I mean, it would have been nice if they had that Grasshopper up high earlier on. That could have given them options, but it just didn't add up for them. And really, everybody just kind of hanging out in the same vicinity, and those night gears up top putting out.
And the Shadow Cat and some of those lights kind of essentially hurting Osiriz into a corner with the rest of their team.
Yeah.
Get some scratch damage out, kind of making them back off a little bit, back off a little bit, back off a little bit, until all you know, you got all 7 of your remaining mechs standing on one staircase, and you're surrounded.
And so trying to get anything done with Epsilon was an uphill battle here for this last remaining light for Osiriz. And what a great ambush by Charlemagne. He had no clue he was there. He was like a freaking Arctic cheetah or something, just sitting up in the treetops on top of that hill, jumping down on his target with Saruman backing him up, and were able to execute him. Once again, that Streak Huntsman nowhere to be found. He should have been backing him up the entire time.
Yeah.
But
I think the biggest mistake was that Streak Huntsman not backing up on Theta.
That was where it started, absolutely. They needed him
where it started.
Right there. But even still, I don't think that Huntsman, maybe his presence could have slowed D5's lights down, but really, D5's lights were able to, in 1 or 2 shots, take out T-Fun. I think the Streak Huntsman wouldn't have even had a solid lock before that went down. But he needed to make more of a presence. Absolutely did.
Yeah.
And he obviously did a lot of work towards the end of this when they got in danger close.
But at that point, it was essentially a losing fight. You have to engage
they
early
lost the
on,
cap war,
grab the jump. Yeah,
they got
on
pushed
those
out
lights.
by the Shadow Cat. The Huntsman able to do some work, and some of that damage came when he was, of course, glitched against the wall, and D5 was not able to get the final kill. Now, that does not cost D5 any reputation at all. Just maybe a little bit of pride that they weren't able to find that hidden hitbox. But, it didn't cost them any score. That's important to note. And they didn't lose any bonus because of it. But that was that for Viridian Bog. But Drop 5, Crimson Straight Conquest, a bit of an asymmetrical map. 2 lights, 0 mediums, 2 heavies, 4 assaults. Osiriz has island side. D5 has Team 1 side. What do you think we're going to see on this?
I'd like to say we're going to see range, but Osiriz has been aggressive, and when they've been aggressive, it seems to have worked out for them. We saw them be passive on Viridian Bog, and obviously it didn't. D5, I think, likes to play a little more passive, take their time, and kind of work on getting good angles surrounding them. When Osiriz has been aggressive, it's worked out for them. I think you'll see Osiriz maybe establish island, but then move up and try and push in city side.
I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe even some DACA in use here.
Yeah.
There are 4 assaults, so it's going to be a very slow-moving deck. But with that said, most of the range advantage for island side doesn't really exist. I mean, the range advantage for non-island side is that they can trade into island from the buildings. But if Osiriz opts to just push in aggressively into those buildings, there's not really a very reliable place to set up a concave for Dropship 5 to receive a push. So if Osiriz opts to go aggressive here, we could see them take away some valuable positions from D5, but we'll have to watch and see.
There are giant face statues on Crimson Strait.
You didn't know that? And there's boats behind them too.
I can't unsee this. This is horrifying.
These are the same statues that are on River City, the little mini statues up on the
That's my
Citadel.
2 new least favorite maps.
Some face statues. All right, we are seeing movement with DACA from Osiriz. They are not moving main body up to island. They are instead pushing into water near the boat, kind of hiding themselves. D5 at this point sees what's happening. There's no way that they don't see this coming in, so they're starting to find ways that they can spread out and start trading in.
And D5 has 2 Gauss PPC Kodiaks, a ER large Grasshopper. Their one main counter is going to be a 4 large pulse laser Battlemaster. Got some good DPS, some good mid-range engagement, but they've got to put some fire down with these Kodiaks because that DACA, if they get in close, is going to tear them up.
Very good maneuvering here by Osiriz, basically hugging the boat, isolating a single mech, and that Silken in the Kodiak 3 not able to put down reliable damage, and Osiriz has successfully closed the distance on D5 without taking any meaningful fire. D5 is going to need to find a place to set up here. They've got their Kodiak and their Battlemaster still right up in front. Is this
I think they need to rotate out in water.
No, it's
that's a large boss.
Okay, so they've got them right up in front. And Osiriz is going to give them the full brunt of this in a little bit here. They've got a Mauler MX-90 a little bit slow in the backfield, but now they're putting down that damage. The Silken getting pounded by a Cafe in that Kodiak 3. Some strikes going on.
And that Kodiak and Battlemaster kind of, they're cut off
right across Wildfire. I don't even think that was the intended target, but they got a good strike on him. But Zia's in that Battlemaster now, toe-to-toe against the Arctic Cheetah, and he's about to have some more DACA in on him. They're pressing up against the building, trying to at least keep themselves safe, but Arctic Cheetah, skinless, able to execute the Silken from behind. A lot of hurt mechs, though, now for Osiriz. They're starting to take some hits from the Gauss PPC, and it is starting to add up. Their push is stalled out here. Brother Tibber making a huge kill against Cafe. The momentum starting to swing back in favor of D5.
And the lights are doing a big job here for D5. Push that
Charlemagne working the outside, getting Wildfire, and we have these 2 lights working around the outside.
Those lights are doing a big job. They're slowing them down.
MVP on the lights right now. They're getting him right behind that Grasshopper, and he shuts down. He's giving it to him for free.
Oh, man.
He makes it out just barely, but he's got him tied up now. 3 dead on Osiriz, 3 dead on Dropship 5. The lights are doing work back here, but the main body is finally breached through and is starting to get into on the assaults. T-Fun in that Spider doing some work as well with Skinless, working on Brother Tibber. They might be able to get a kill on him. Getting a kill would be huge there, but now 5, 6 dead for Osiriz. Not looking good for Osiriz. They have a lot, 2 fresh mechs on D5 side, but they need to be able to seal up Tibber here.
Tibber is doing a good job putting his back against the wall, staying alive.
Protecting himself.
And here comes the lights trying to save him.
These lights are going to finish this up. T-Fun might be able to get an opportunity on Tibber. He's trying to get those lucky crits with the machine guns, but not able to seal the deal on Tibber just yet, and he is twisting away. That is disheartening right there.
Tibber has saved himself.
T-Fun is not going to be long for this world. He's not giving up on Timber.
Oh, he's not giving up.
He's not giving up at all. Oh, but there we go. Saruman able to seal the deal. How hurt is Timber? CT, any machine gun crit would have killed Timber, but he was able to shake it off and stay alive at 37%. Good job protecting his mech.
I really thought Osiriz had that, but they bogged down, and I think it was Charlemagne and Saruman getting in there, slowing them up.
That was huge. The Arctic Cheetah and the Jenner getting into the backfield and just starting to shred them up one by one on the backside and getting multiple mechs to turn around and living through it. The fact that they're able to turn an entire team and not just get picked is huge. Now, they did have T-Fun and Skinless doing work in the backfield on D5 as well for Osiriz, doing 409 damage in that Spider, 2 kills, and of course 1 kill, 1 assist, 250 damage in that Arctic Cheetah. But the damage was just great from both teams, but a little bit more on the D5 side.
Osiriz had the better deck for that range, but like you said, Lights got in there, slowed him down a bit, and all of a sudden, you allow some of these guys a little further back to keep the fire pouring in. The Gauss PPC keeps coming in, and if those Lights slow down the push, which they did, you're going to see that. You're going to see Osiriz get bogged down and eventually taken down. But MVP, like you said, Charlemagne, Saruman of many colors, T-Fun and Skinless tried to save it for Osiriz, just weren't able to quite make it happen.
So that was an 8-3 decision, I believe, in favor of Dropship 5. Osiriz unable to kill all of the assaults for Dropship 5. Was Timber the only assault left?
There was Marauder 2C up, I believe, as well.
Oh, okay. So they still had a lot of work left to try and get the bonus. But well played, Dropship 5 with a very clean win, just standing their ground and dishing it out. It was excellent, but a 3-2 decision for Dropship 5, 1275 rep versus 900 rep on the Osiriz side. What a fantastic match. Very intense. So let's go right to the replay here. And then I'll do 2 giveaways because, of course, I missed the Drop 4 giveaway. But this movement by Osiriz was very good. Hugging that boat,
I loved that
putting out
initial
the damage.
movement.
I can't believe they were able to get into the range that they did and not pull this off. D5 stood their ground and had a lot of angles into the positions that Osiriz ended up slotting into.
But look at how fresh they are when they get to the city.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if maybe the Grasshopper wasn't a good pick. I don't know how much work he was able to do. I'd have to look at the damage again. But the Daka alone should have been able to make a huge difference here. I don't know if it was just simply the light mechs doing that much work. They did have some guys out on this peninsula getting some shots in at a severe angle as well. That was pretty good. Some ER large.
Let's see what happened
down
here.
By Epsilon side.
Nice and aggressive, pushing into the city. They had that Battlemaster and Kodiak there. I think they bogged down on their own, to be honest. Looking back at the replay, the Lights came in to help the Battlemaster and the Kodiak, but by that point, Osiriz had already backed off a little bit and were just trading inside the buildings. That might have been just a bog down on their own, to be honest.
Yeah, I really would have liked to have seen what they could have done if they remained aggressive, especially as fresh as they were. But they opted to start trading with trading against a trade deck with their Daka.
And that's not going to work. It's just you spread your damage too much with that Daka versus PPC Gauss. You have to keep you can't twist as well. You have to keep your mech pointed on target for longer with that Daka. That's why it works better brawling. You charge in there, you brawl. PPC Gauss, they run up against their heat cap. They don't have the DPS, and you mow them down. You bog down like that, you get stuck in those buildings, and this is what happens. Osiriz kind of, like I said, initially I thought it were the Lights kind of slowing them down, but to be honest, I think it was nothing but themselves. Maybe they just, got a little confused with multiple targets at multiple angles. But in a brawl versus a range deck, the range deck is going to spread out. That's what they do. That's the counter. The brawl deck has to pick a direction and go. And it seemed like Osiriz didn't pick a direction, and it cost him.
Absolutely. I'm trying to get the captains into TeamSpeak here. Do a quick interview with them before we're finished. Let's drag them down. So we're going to do quick giveaway. MD, if you want to hop in there, MRBC TeamSpeak as well. But well played, D5, sealing that one up. That was an intense one for sure. All right, let's do one quick giveaway now, and then one after the interview is done. Obviously, like I said, you got entered into the giveaway simply by saying something in chat, so you have time for the last giveaway. Just say something, and you will be in there. Let's take Moobot out. And who wants a mech bay? Question mark. What an intense match. Back and forth, back and forth. But D5 coming back in the end.
But kudos to Osiriz giving D5 their first real challenge so far of the season, taking 2 drops off of them, and it was close, even the ones that they lost.
Hugo's son won again. Sorry, man, you already won this. We are going to re-roll that right now. I'll laugh if he wins again because I was too lazy to pull him out of the list. But trying to go. Alright, for the mech bay. I can't wait to see the rig call coming out of chat. And Skoy SWAT, you are the winner of a mech bay. Congratulations. I will send you a message after the stream is complete and send that to you. We will be doing one more giveaway before the night is done, and that will be for 500 MC, so stick around. But I've got with me Ghost from Osiriz and Raging Banana from Dropship 5. Good games to both of you guys. You definitely made that one exciting.
Good games, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Very good games.
That was excellent. So let's start with the thing that's freshest in our memory here. Ghost on that drop 5. I keep saying Dropship 5. The drop 5 push. It looked great at the start. You guys had a great approach near the boat and got up into the city. Did you guys intend to go aggressive straight through, or did you just want to get into that mid-range and begin trading? What happened there?
Well, we wanted to kind of push in with an aggressive start and just kind of knock them back on their heels a bit. We had a little bit of miscommunication as far as some mechs lagging behind, especially the Mauler, as it's obviously a little bit slower than the rest.
I did see that MX-90 kind of in the backfield.
Yeah.
There.
What ended up, I think, being a part of a blunted push, because as soon as we pushed in, the guys realized that they were taking a lot of excessive fire, and we weren't putting enough of a response back out. So by the time that I got to the front lines, they were already half beat up, and things were kind of already over at that point.
What did you guys, Raging Banana, what did you guys, how did it go when you saw them pushing up? Like, were you guys pretty calm in comms? Were you freaking out? How did that go for the reception of that push?
So, ironically enough, the original plan coming out of this was actually to push into water against a long-range trade deck. And so when they came to meet us, at that point, it was just a response of send the Marauder out wide, prep your lines, and wait to dip the lights in. It was more of a, like, we can take this fight in the city. I think we were pretty confident about it. We heard the Mauler call, and that put me a little on edge. I actually opted not to take a Mauler here because of the speed, even though I love the mech. So, honestly, it was a bit tooth and nail for a while there because we lost our early assault. But put my trust in my lights, and my lights carried the day, I'd say.
Absolutely. Saruman and Charlemagne, of course, doing some amazing work for you guys all night long. Had some really good ganks earlier on. On Viridian Bog, a gank against T-Fun, you guys had to have been feeling really good at that point, taking a light out right off the bat and taking really no return damage for that. Did you guys just basically want to hold the 3 cap after that occurred, or did you how are you guys approaching that after getting that initial gank?
Okay, so for Viridian, our original, yet again, was to just analyze if it was a brawl, because we've had some experience with double Atli coming over that hill. And so we were a little bit gun shy of that. So we took our positions, and once we secured a tri-cap, then at that point it was a matter of how much wiggle room we could flex. We were looking to fill some spaces that were left behind when Oz did some maneuvers. The issue is they had some pretty good overwatch on that right side of the second rock, our side rock. So I think actually our Marauder rolled down, and I opted to take low ground and just cycle back and forth. I was in a pretty good position. I was able to just stand around and do whatever I wanted. So at that point, it was just trying to slowly encircle and find a way to sneak our lights in, which was pretty tough because they did have a lot of guns.
Absolutely. MD, you got anything that comes to mind on any of these drops that really sticks out to you?
I was just highly entertained by this whole round.
Need to say that into TeamSpeak so they can hear you too.
I understand that. I will say that Banana and really actually Ghost, I want to know your impressions on Tourmaline Desert. You see a Viper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming through. I'm coming through.
Right.
You've got me muted in TeamSpeak.
Mm-hmm.
You see, okay, so Osiriz, you see a Viper, right, come flying in off of this pillar, doing a swan dive into the middle of your team. Obviously, it's like a gift from the heavens. You get him killed. What's going through your mind at this point? Are you thinking we're up one, let's push, let's win this? Are you thinking
that was
we've
pretty
got
much
some advantages?
A what the hell moment. Like, okay, where'd that come from and why do you go through there? All right, that's moving on kind of thing. Actually, the Viper really didn't phase us much on what we were already communicating, and we saw the left side kind of seem to buckle a little bit, and that's when we tried to do our push. But again, it's this team. I don't know if it's just because we're still trying to working out a lot of the new team kinks with some players or whatnot, but it seems like we're a little bit slow in our reaction timing for taking advantage of some of those opportunities. The Viper was a nice surprise, but it really didn't change how we were moving as that fight kind of progressed.
And Banana, with that Viper, was the original intent just getting some vision, or were you hoping to drop down behind them? Or, you know, obviously that wasn't the exact plan to do the swan dive off the pillar, but what was the thought there, sending that Viper up there?
Well, actually, I don't micromanage my pilot, so my pilot opted to take a high scout and overshot with his jump jets. And that was quickly followed by a sigh, a goddammit, and a right side push.
And of course, right when you guys were right side pushing, they were left side pushing right into you guys as well, and you had a nasty fight right on that corner. Of course, the Light's doing a fantastic job in the backfield as well, just kind of messing with Matt in that hunchback, keeping him suppressed, and then just kind of working up your line. That's got to be hard as hell, I guess, to fight, especially being a man down. That's just a lot of guns coming right up into your face.
At that point, it was mostly just bloody them as much as possible with the heavier mechs. The two gears were just over. Actually, I think I do an actual
your mic's
shot, but I was over 7 seconds.
All right, didn't catch what you said there.
Yeah,
right
I was over it, blasting through my heat.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got some nasty packet logs.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the server or what, but rip Rage and Banana. Of course, Rage and Banana apparently can't. Was that Tibber in that Kodiak at the end? Actually,
that was Tibber.
That Tibber in the Kodiak.
They're basically the same person.
They're basically the same person. Just completely unable to die under a hail of machine gun fire on Crimson Strait. That, of course, was some good twisting there, but. Yeah, well, sounds like TeamSpeak's dying, so we're going to go ahead and cut this interview short. Thank you guys for coming by. Great fight tonight. Can't wait to watch you guys again, and good luck for the rest of the season. It was a hell of a show. I don't know if TeamSpeak is dead or if it's working again. Oh, it's straight up dead.
Yeah, it's officially dead.
It's gone. All right, well.
A short interview
This
tonight.
is why Discord's great. What a fantastic match. That was extremely exciting. Great teams fighting, duking it out. But, all right. The time has come for our final giveaway of the night. Let's do this. 500 MC coming right up. Who's going to be our lucky winner? Giveaway
bummed that
tool.
interview got cut short.
Yeah, I am bummed. That's team speak for you. But this giveaway tool brought to you by Latch. LatchTools.com. LACHHH. The brilliant Flash programmer. But Gunver79 coming away with the 500 MC code. You will
Congratulations.
be receiving a message from me after this stream is concluded. So that is it for us tonight. What a hell of a match. Upcoming casts. Isengroup versus the Smoke Adders on the 14th might not be happening. I think they're going to be rescheduling because that, of course, is Mother's Day, but I haven't heard what's going on with that. If it does happen, it might still be cast. Keep an eye on MRBCleague.com for upcoming shoutcasts. This week is really light. Possibly because of Mother's Day. Not sure what's going on. People got stuff going on. Steel Jaguar versus Dropship 5 coming up on the 17th. That'll be an exciting one. And then, of course, Eon Synergy versus Black Spikes Team 2 on the 18th of May. Keep an eye on the site, though. There's been last-minute casts added, especially in the EU side when people find availability.
Yep.
You know, the AP casts. And of course, whenever we can get more casts in there, we absolutely do, and we do them for all of the divisions that we possibly can. So definitely keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on Reddit. Keep an eye on the competitive forums where we post up the schedule as well. But really, MRBCleague.com. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/MRBCleague. I am constantly posting stuff on social media. That's all I do all day, apparently, is post on social media. But definitely keep following us. Follow MRBC League on Twitch, MRBC League 2, because when we have dual casts, we'll run it on both. But give us a follow. We've got over 1,000 followers.
Woo!
On Twitch now.
Now we just have to get them
awesome.
all on at the same time.
That would be amazing. But definitely a great crowd out there tonight. Fantastic. We love you fans. You guys are fantastic, and you are the reason we do this. But I am Bandit B17. This is MDM0.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching. We will see you guys later.
Meters altitude. Telemetry indicates input eject.